Alright, so good afternoon. I'm just out here working on the truck today. Got some pretty cool upgrades going on, I guess. You want to call it that. I'll turn the light on when we get up front, but obviously you can tell this is my gearbox from Redhead. And why it's out of the truck. Oh my goodness, I can't figure out how to work my camera. Let me turn the light on. That's better. Alright. So, why it might be out of the truck. Ooh, if I can get my phone in there. I can't. Okay, well, let's see if I can get a shot of it at all. Probably not. Okay, I can't. This thing is being a royal pain in the ass. Alright. Kind of see another Redhead in there. So like I said, I had to warranty out this Redhead because the very bottom shaft where the pitman arm goes on there has a little bit of movement to it. I don't know that you could feel it with your hand, but when you turn the wheel back and forth, you can watch that shaft move back and forth before the wheels even turn. So that's where part of my slop was coming from. As well as this input shaft seal was leaking, and the new one actually has a metal ring that holds this on there. You can't take it off, but this one came only like that, and it's just been leaking ever since, ever so slightly, more like weeping. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. I guess we'll check how tight she is now. She's quite a bit tighter, actually. I'm really happy with that. That is really nice compared to what it was. Now, this truck has 354,000 miles, so you hear all that rattling. Most of it's in the column. The column's just shot, as well as the intermediate shaft. I had just replaced. That's shot as well. Let's see if that does anything. Yeah, so no bueno. No bueno on the shaft, but the gearbox seems to be quite a bit tighter, so that's really nice. Yeah, so I just got that done an hour or so ago, and you know, the freaking A or something on the bottom of my shoe. The directions say, I think I took them in the truck. There. Yep. So the directions say to number 3 there, work the steering wheel back and forth, lock 15 to 20 times, then leave the vehicle sit. Overnight is best, but it must be at least 2 hours. So I'm going to let it sit for 3 or 4 hours here. And then you work it back again 7 to 10 times, and then you start the truck. And try and bleed it out after that. But, yeah. So like I said, all they did was charge me the core charge for that. And once they get that back, then we'll get that core charge back, because that one was defective. It happens, but unfortunately it frickin' happened to me, of course. You know, I've been having a lot of that lately. It's been really frustrating to have that kind of crap happen to me. You know, you pay all this money for a good gearbox, for a good this, good that, you know, supposed to be the best of the best, or really close to it, and you know, you get the bad eggs. You know, like why do I get the bad eggs? Why don't other people get the bad eggs? Why am I getting the bad eggs? So you know, it's really frustrating sometimes, but life goes on. We got the job done. Doesn't take very long. Found out. Here's a quick little tip, because you can see my center link right here where the inner tie rod is. If you turn the wheel all the way to the left, you can get your pickle fork right in here, perfectly on it. Especially if the wheel's off, you get plenty of room to swing with your hammer. You have plenty of room to get right in on that where the pitman arm is on the center link. And then you just pull the gearbox out of the truck after that. It's really easy to get it out of there. You have to pull the sway bar link down off the truck, pretty much. All I did was undo the passenger side sway bar link, obviously undo the mounts, and then just swing it down and out of the way, let it rest on the floor. If the wheel's off, you got a whole lot more room to swing that out of the way. But that was really handy dandy. It just comes right out. And then I've got a pitman arm puller. I can't remember where I got this. Looks like I got a couple boogered threads on there already. No. Focus, you turd. Come on. You are being a pile. Anyway, you can see them silver threads. Those ones look kind of a little boogered, but not so bad. But anyway, I've used the impact on that sucker 3 times now, and it's still holding up pretty dang good. And I tighten the living snot out of that nut. So that means the pitman arms on there are really frickin' tight. I mean, I've got the wrench. Last time when I did this pitman arm, I went out and got the wrench for it, which is a 1 5/16, I believe it is, just so I would have something to tighten that nut with other than with an impact. So when it's on the truck and the wheels are on the ground, I can just reef on it. But what makes the cake on this gearbox too is having a set of crow's feet. Having a set of these to get the lines off. Why won't you focus? Having a set of these to get the lines off is so nice, because most of the time you can't fit a regular size wrench up in there. There's not enough room really to swing it up on top of the gearbox. So it's, you know, having the right tools makes the job go by so much quicker. But yeah, 1 5/16. It's a pretty dang good size wrench here. So that really helps out quite a bit. And then the other thing too, here in Minnesota, it's nice to have a little heat hooked up to a 40-pound tank. So this sucker lies. It lies all the time. It's no 36 degrees in here. It is. I think we were supposed to have a high of 9 degrees today with a real feel of like -2 or something like that. When I came out here, it was 4 degrees with a 2 degrees with a real feel of -12. That's fantastic. But and I should have done a cold start video because she wasn't too happy. She actually started running a little rough there after the initial start. It just kind of lope. Which this truck's never done before, and it's been started in this kind of temperature before, so I was kind of amazed that it did that. But once it kicked into high idle, it stopped doing that. So, but yeah, we're doing good. We got a slight coolant leak somewhere. I haven't found it yet. I haven't really looked though either. Like goes down ever so slightly, but. Oh, I can't wait to be done though. I really can't. Frickin' A, man. So, and the other project we got going on are the Nerf bars off of Dad's the LLY. Trying to clean them up a little bit, get some of the rust off of them. I'm telling you to move to the left. This gimbal is really confusing. It won't move when I tell it to. Oh, there it went, I think. It moved down. Turd. But anyway, so there you go. Trying to clean some of the rust off of it because it's just pretty grungy. I mean, these things are over well, they're 11 years old at this point, so they've seen salt their entire life. It's never been out of the salt ban. Which is pretty dang good, you know, for 11 years of New York and Minnesota salt. So not too terribly bad. And I got a little 80 grit flap wheel for the die grinder. Try and clean them up a little bit, and then we'll get them painted up. I bought a kit to polish some metal, so we'll see how that comes out, because these are obviously less than ideal, and they're not that dirty. So they are stainless, so they will last for a very long time, but the brackets probably won't, especially with the amount of material that's been coming off of them. It's kind of nuts. But, yeah, and the rockers are starting to let loose a little bit down here. Just throw some more spray paint down. It'll look mint. You know, everybody, I keep telling everybody, all my friends, I'm like, you know, I sent them pictures, and they're just like, "Oh man, the truck looks so awesome. Why don't you sell it?" And I was like, because it's got rocker rust, and you know, it's got other things that of signs of age, and they're just like, well, it doesn't look like, especially when I showed them in person, like, it doesn't look that bad. It's as bad as you make it sound. And it was just like, it's because the spray paint's nice and glossy. I mean, it looks like regular factory paint. I mean, other than a little bit of orange peel, you can't tell. You can't tell the truck's freaking rusty and rotten. So, with the doors, man, the doors drive me bonkers on this truck. Because there's wind noise, and the gasket is nice and plump. They're really nice and plump, not flattened. But like someone had mentioned that it's possible, and especially with the paint missing there, but it's possible someone may have used like an airbag to pry the door open once they lock their keys inside the truck or something. I'm like, you know, that's really good. Really good, probably explanation of what happened on this truck. So, but the door latches are just far beyond gone. Especially the little tabs that are supposed to help lift the door up. Those are long gone. So now this door you have to slam just lividly hard. And when you... Yeah, I don't know that you can catch that. When I go to close the door, it kind of lifts up. Even that bottom one doesn't latch unless you slam it, pretty much. But even then, you can hear that squeak. You go down the road, it squeaks. Oh my gosh. And this door, you close it and the door squishes in. I know extended cabs do that, but there's something not right with the adjustment. And I don't want to mess with the adjustment on this truck. It's just a freaking pile for the door's sake. But yeah, man. I just rant and rave about in my videos, and I just really get... So I have to go and edit it, and I get tired about listening to myself talk. I don't enjoy listening to myself. You know, I used to play the violin, and I don't even like to hear myself play. In person, on a video, ugh, gross, yuck. I'm that kind of person. But for some reason, you get me talking, I'll talk for a while. But yeah, this truck's a mess. It is getting a lot better, though. I am getting really... You know, every time I do something to the truck, I'm just so ecstatic, you know. The freaking rims look awesome. The brand new tires. The thing drives like $1 million. It always drove like $1 million. It just had loose components. You know, when you replace them and it drives even better, and you're like, freaking right, man, the trucks look brand new. You know, new mirrors, this, that, the other. It just looks awesome now. I really love driving this truck. That 6th gear just takes it to a whole new level. Driving down the road, getting the LB7, I'm just about screaming, man, I want that 6th gear so bad. But one of these days, that truck will get a set of a new valve body with 6th gear. Anyway, the other thing is I replaced the tie rods on the LB7. These are Moog inner and outer tie rods with some tie rod sleeves from somewhere. I don't remember where. Oh, they don't have... Oh, there it is. It ain't kryptonite, I don't think. It is kryptonite. Okay. Don't know if you can hardly ever read that. Kryptonite. Anyway, so those are kryptonite. And the Moog tie rods are loose. The inner tie rod on the driver's side was loose. When you did that with the wheel, you could see this boot squish as if the joint was popping in and out a little bit. So the passenger side, not so much. A little bit, but not near as bad. So what I did is I actually went out and I bought another one. This is my replacement. I went out and bought another one. Same exact thing. Loose joint. You're like, that's impossible. It's a Moog. And it's just awesome. Just awesome. Well, you know, I don't know what it is, but I bought 2 of them in a row. Both of them have slop. I actually bought the Duramax Store Extreme Duty tie rods. Yeah, that's what they are. D-Max Store Extreme Duty. just beefy mongers. They're a bit beefier than these with the tie rod sleeve. You know, except it's all no tie rod sleeve. The whole thing is a sleeve. It's awesome. It's just like, you know. Anyway, so they're huge. They're awesome. A lot tighter steering. Either it drives really smooth now. It's just everything's nice about it now. Where this one had a loose tie rod feel, shaking down the road, blah blah blah. No good. So. And these ones are from the Duramax store. I ordered this kit, the PISC kit, with the pitman arm, idler arm, brace, all that good stuff. And so far, these tie rods have let me down. And I called Duramax store. I was like, hey, you know, my tie rod's freaking loose. What's up with that? And they're just, oh, it's highly unusual. Straight out of the box, a brand new Moog? No way. I was like, yeah, way. Well, you'd have to send it in to us for us to test it before we could give you a refund or a replacement. That was the big thing. They won't give me a replacement unless I send that in and they can test it. Buddy, I need to drive my truck because that was my only truck at the time. I need to drive. That's my only vehicle. I need my truck. Send me a replacement. You know, do like what Redhead does. You know, charge me a core charge. I'll send this one back. I guarantee it. You know, so you know, I want a core charge. I don't want to be charged a whole another $50 for a frickin' inner tie rod. That's ridiculous. But you know, well, you guys send it into us before we can give you a replacement. Well, you know, that just makes no sense. Okay. Anyway, so I'm probably gonna try and send this into Duramax store, but I'm gonna put a note in there and say, hey, you can't feel the slop in your hand. You have to have the weight of your wheel, the leverage of your wheel, in order to feel the slop. It's minute, but it's there because you always had a squish, just a squish. It was just soft, and now there's not. So that's really nice. That's the only way I could explain it. I had Dad get underneath there while I did it. I was under there while he did it. Yeah, the inner tie rod had a little bit of slop to it. And I bought 2 Moogs in a row. I'm done with Moog. I tell you what, I ain't buying another Moog. I don't buy Moog wheel bearings. I only buy Timkins because Timkins are made to last, unlike Moog, I guess, nowadays. I think even Timken's starting to lose their beans. I don't know, but that's probably the next thing to get done on this truck. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but you know, probably one of the next things is probably the wheel bearings because these ones are pretty loose. To be honest, not like wobbly, but just the fact when you spin them, they're just incredibly easy to spin, and they just want to keep spinning. Of course, it's cold, so it's not going to do it as much. But when you're out in the 80-degree weather, man, they just spin and they keep spinning. So I'm sure they're going to be on their way out soon, and I'm going to have to do a rear axle swap on this with that one out of the LLY because Dad, like I said, Dad just got done doing bearings, seals, and fluid, obviously. So I mean, it's ready to rock and roll. And this one, I showed you on that rim over there, the axle seal on the right side is just let loose, and it's just coated everything. So I bet that rear right brake ain't even doing anything. It's just so covered in fluid. So I'm just going to keep filling her up until it's warm enough I can go pull that axle and do a swap, because it's just way too frickin' cold to try and do anything else. So, yeah, man, I tell you what. Play with my camera. But I'm surprised they sent me this in a USPS box. That's kind of that's kind of interesting. But oh, the other thing I noticed, big thing. Let's see if I can try and get anything. There's no markings on this gearbox whatsoever. Now I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? They shouldn't be rebuilding gearboxes that are Chinese and don't have any markings on them whatsoever. The new gearbox I got, it's a little bit slimmer design, and it says Delphi, and it's got a part number on it. So I don't know what came in these things OEM. I've never heard of Delphi as an OEM part, but they shouldn't be rebuilding Chinese boxes because there's obviously something wrong with this thing. It turns more left than it does right. The front input shaft seal, obviously someone slacked on that metal, not putting that metal plate on there. And at the same time, the shaft at the bottom, shaft on the bottom is loose. So that's no good either. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to put a note in the box as well to say, hey, these are the problems. If you're going to rebuild it, try and fix them, because I got a bad egg. I freaking hate that. Went through all the effort, all the money, and we're, sloppy, So, isn't it? Someone said that there's red head and there's like blue, not blue head, but there's blue something out there. It's got a blue head on it, and they're supposed to be just as good and cheaper, better warranty or something like that. It's like, never heard of them, not trying them. Everybody rants raves about the redheads, and so far so do I about the LB7. That one's doing absolutely perfectly fine. I have no problems with the LB7. So, to be honest, I do have a little bit of problem with the LB7. The shaft that I'm complaining about on the very bottom right there, that's really loose on this one, is a bit loose on the LB7. And the LB7 has a lot more miles on the gearbox than this one did. It does. This one's got about roughly 10 to 12,000 miles on it. LB7's got well over 20,000 miles on it. And the shaft is a little bit loose, but not that bad. So it still drives really smooth down the road, where this one, if you had a loose tie rod feeling, it just, obviously, like I said, the steering was sloppier. I'll see if I can include a little clip. I don't know. I really don't know. A little clip of when I first put this gearbox in and I tested the steering wheel. And it was like, well, it's better than it was, because it was like this before. Now it's like, like that. And now this one's like, I don't know, like that. It's ever so slightly. So, not so bad. But, so just to beware, It's not a hard job when you have all the tools. It goes relatively quick. I had this in and out in 2 hours. So out and in, sorry, keep doing that backwards. But out and in 2 hours. That's taking my time, misplacing stuff. You know how that goes. And yeah, it's no bueno. But so we're gonna wait to finish bleeding, and I'm excited to get this one out on the road again and see how she does. Hopefully we get a bit of smoother drive. Hopefully we got a little bit all that good stuff. So I will keep you guys updated. I'm sorry I rant and rave and talk so much about nothing, but that'll get better in the future. And hopefully you guys are enjoying my little bit smoother videos with the gimbal, although I'm really having a time trying to get used to this thing. Especially since I don't really know how to use it. It won't go left. Oh, there it'll go left and right, but it wouldn't earlier. It'll go up and down. I don't know. I'm confused, but we'll figure it out. But these are, if you guys are curious, because I mentioned them, I didn't say who or what they were. They are Astro Pneumatics tools, 7115 part number. They're metric, because I like metric. I've said that before in my videos. I like metric. I hate standard. I really do. That's un-American. Well, you know what? Everything today comes in metric, and it's easy to know because I was never good with fractions in school. So you ask me what size is above a 1/4 inch in metric or a standard set, and I'm like, I don't know. I know there's 1/4, there's eighths, there's 16ths, but I don't know. I don't know. That just makes me sound stupid. But in reality, metric is on almost everything today. And it's really easy. Oh, it's a 10 mil. Oh, it's a 12 mil. Doop-a-doop-doop. Out the door you go. I very, 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 very rarely come across something that's standard anymore. And I just bought a new wrench set. And I will be showing you guys that when it gets here. I think it's supposed to be here on Monday. Today is Friday. So I will show you guys that kit. It's fairly premium, pretty damn expensive. But I'm excited for them because they're going to be a bit higher quality than the gear wrench set I've got. And I'm just pretty excited actually for them. So, yeah. I'm still waiting on my locking lug nuts. They have been shipped, supposedly. It's took 3 days. They said they were shipped. There was no tracking number. So I'm like, where's my tracking number? And they're like, oh, here it is. Sorry, we had a problem with UPS. Now we're shipping at USPS. And it's like, ugh. So I got the USPS tracking number, entered it in. Oh, the label's been created, but we're waiting for the seller to drop it off. And I'm like, well, great. It's already 3 days into it. It says it was shipped 3 days ago, and it still ain't shipped. So this is rather frustrating. And they didn't even let me know until I asked. So I'm a little disappointed. But, you know, it's got a locking lug on there. I just want something with a thicker base. Other than that, we'll have to do a toolbox go-through on my toolboxes and Dad's as well, just so you guys can see what's going on, you know, in my tool world, because I've got a pretty decent set of tools. There's not much I can't do, you know, standard on these trucks, and I'm really pretty happy about that, actually. There's not much I can't do on these trucks. There's a couple of tools that I wish I had, like a bearing, like the hub, is it the hub grabber, or the hub tamer, where you can use an impact. It's like a race and bearing seal driver kit almost. It just pulls bearings out, pushes bearings in, and with an impact, it's just real nice and easy. The hub shark is one of the names. I really would like to have one of those, because doing a set, like doing the axle bearings on this, would be very nice to have a set of. To have that sucker, you know, we're talking $300-400 for the every size kit that they've got. You know, comes with every size you could think of your need. That's on the list. That's been on the list for a while. That's when I bought. I don't have it out here. It's on the other side. That's when I bought my hub shocker to break off hub assemblies from the knuckle, which has worked about 7 out of 10 times, even though I haven't used it that many times. But you get the point. Or every 2 out of 3 times it's worked. The only time I haven't had it work was on a frickin'... See if I can get myself in the shot. The only time it hasn't worked is when I was working on a Dodge Grand Caravan. And the hubs were a little bit loose. I put the hub shocker on there. I used it on a Cadillac CTS quite a few times in 2011, and it just broke them right loose, knocked them out, no problem. But you get on the Dodge Caravan, and it just ripped the hub right out of the, you know, so the bearing was still stuck in the knuckle, and I had to chisel it out. That was not very fun. Wasn't all that rusty either, so that was a bummer. But the hub shocker, it got used on a Ford Edge, not mine. The guy I originally found out about the hub shocker, he brought it over and he beat on the thing like 4 times, knocked the hub out, and was like, dang, I need one of those. I'm sitting here with a hammer and chisel trying to get back behind the bearing, the hub to pull it out. I need one of those. And so I finally did get one. I think it was only like $150, $160 for that. When, you know, people can make their own for cheaper, but to me, it's my first Mac Tools purchase, that's for sure. So that's hopefully gets my foot in the door in that, and I can start getting some more Mac Tools. It'd be nice. But yeah, we've got some tools. We've got some tools now. I'm really enjoying it. One of the tools I got for Christmas, right beside my tool chest here. Everything falls out of there. Turn this around a little bit. Here's the other one I got. This one is Astor Pneumatics as well. The 7880 or 10, sorry, 10-piece torque limiting extension set. I've used this a few times, and it does come in handy. It really does. So, torque sticks for when you're using your impact gun to put lug nuts on, but you're not ready to torque them down, but you want to get them relatively close to the torque you need. Then, like, I use 140 foot-pounds, because that's what Discount Tire uses to torque these truck lug nuts on here. Some people might think, Dad thinks that's overkill, but you know what? On the paper, it says the lug nuts are torqued to 140 foot-pounds, which, you know, I want maximum torque on my heavy-duty towing big trailers, and I want them wheels on there. So that's what I use. I just got that for Christmas, and Dad got me that for Christmas as well. He got me both of them for Christmas, but I'll show you my electrical box while I'm at it, because I got some stuff in there, some new stuff I just got, and then I got some stuff for Christmas as well. See, I have kids at some point. That's just gonna be my thing. Let's just get Dad some tools. He always wants more tools. Oh my goodness. So much. That's not my freaking electrical box. What am I doing? I'm losing my mind. So I bought this guy. I don't know if I showed you guys in a video yet. I think I did. Pretty cool. It's actually got drawer slides on it, so it slides really nice. All my electrical connections, all that good stuff. But anyway, real good stuff's up here. So Dad got me this as well. Tool aid. It's got just little bitty back probe leads and whatnot. Different sizes and whatnot. Different angles. Dad got me that. My uncle got me these. Haven't used them quite yet. But I actually had to go out and buy a new frickin' soldering gun. And the reason for it, I don't know if there's actually a model. Yeah, there is. D550PK. That's the Weller. My Craftsman, which is sitting over here. You guys probably think I take shit care of my tools, but this is kind of one of them tools that at this point I really don't give a fudge. This is a Weller frickin' bit on here, whatever you want, tip. And it is not for this gun. I can say that guaranteed. It is not for this gun, because I had to bend it in order to get it down thin enough to fit in this chuck, if you will. And it almost makes the guns, it does make the gun start smoking. It's not right. Resistance or something, I don't know. The gun just starts smoking. And it is almost impossible to find the Craftsman replacement frickin' bits for this. I don't know if there's a part. Yeah, I don't know if there's a part number on there. So if you guys want to let me know if you guys find a frickin' find tips for that, because it's not bad. I mean, the motor rattles in there and the bulb burnt out already. But I was in the middle of soldering up the blower motor resistor, the new harness, because my old harness was all burnt up and number 4's fan speed quit working because of it. As soon as I put that harness on, I thought the resistor was bad. Why number 4 burnt out again? It just turned out that the harness was bad. So I also got to do a blower motor, like I had said. So anyway, that's the old one, not the new one. I also bought this guy a long while ago at Sears, the Weller. Just a little bitty butane solder pen. That thing I have never used. I've tried to use it quite a few times, and it just doesn't have enough chooch to melt some solder on a bunch of thick wires. But anyway, I bought this guy because obviously he's got a wider spread. It's a lot more readily available to find them frickin' tips, which is nice. And they were the same price pretty much for the Craftsman and the Weller. This one's got a lot tighter quality feel to it. The motor isn't rattling around. It's a slimmer design. The handle fits a bit better in your hand, but the trigger's really thin and it's almost kind of hard to fit in between here and here or something. It just kind of slides around. I don't know. It's really awkward to get used to. Dad also got me a set of these so you can kind of pinch. You can test wires without separating them if you don't have a back probe lead or don't have a connector to back probe. So Dad got me a set of those, which is nice. I swear there was something else, but maybe that was about it. No, I think that's about it. So everything's tightly packed in here. With just the Craftsman in here, everything fit really nicely, but now it's getting kind of cramped, or I'll have to try and, since this is stackable, I'll have to find another smaller kit to put like the hand tools, the pliers and stuff in, or just the kits to put the kits up top or something. Because I'm already running out of space. But it is really nice to have this. I'm really glad I got it. And it was only like $40 for just the 2 of those. I got those at Menards. So, quick look at my soldering kit. I'm using that sucker all the time now. So I really do need, you know, heavy-duty frickin' soldering gun to really get this stuff done. Here's my hub shocker, if you haven't seen it before. Mounts on the studs of the hub, use the lug nuts, and you beat on it. Pretty simple. But, anyway, I wish I'd gotten the bigger size of that. This one's a 30 to 60. I think they had, what, 60 to 80 or something like that. But it went from, like, I literally think I paid about $80, $90 for this at Menards, and the next one up was like 160. I was like, holy crap. That's a huge, this was on sale, though, so that's probably why, but holy crap, that's an expensive difference. And I really do wish I'd gotten the bigger size. This one does all right. It gets the temperature up in here pretty decently. If you let it run for a good 20, 30, 40 minutes, it gets up to 40, 45 tops. And there's no insulation up there. We just put the poly up there quite a few years ago now, to like 3 years ago, to keep the heat from rising up into the rafters as much. At some point, I mean, we still have to put chutes and stuff up, so that's why we haven't officially insulated and sheetrocked it yet. So that's why we need to put the chutes up. Haven't done it. Dad says they're expensive. I did insulation here in Minnesota for a summer, and I was like, man, we had them things in plethora. They're just cardboard. I can't imagine that's that freaking expensive. They're just cardboard. We could get some cardboard boxes, cut them up and put them up there, you know. But you know, by the time summer comes, it's like 80, 90 degrees outside, and it's like 150 degrees up there, and there comes fall time. It goes from like 50 degrees to negative 20 degrees. It's just ridiculous weather here in Minnesota. So it's like, you gotta have a perfect time to get this done. But anyway, Dad's here, so I'm gonna get off the video. Thanks for listening to me rant and rave and whatever else. And just a quick little tour of the shop. This is, oh, I didn't show this. This is Dad's Christmas present I got him. 60-inch, 58-inch, 56-inch. A Master Force. It's really nice though. It's got lock and drawers, all that stuff. So I'll give a little tour of all that once we're gonna do our toolbox tour. Well, that'll be coming up soon. I just got to get everything organized and put away so you can actually see my tool collection and the collection as it grows. So anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good day. God bless. That is monumentally better than it frickin' was. Holy Hannah. Frickin' right.